Mr. Shower's arrest won't be released, as in previous statements. But it's important to note, upon learning of these allegations, he didn't work another shift for our agency. We want to stress that. In regards to this incident, there's a few other topics we wish to discuss in relation to this. And just that immediately upon being contacted by the FBI, we began to assist them in any means necessary to further their investigation, including assisting them in taking Mr. Shower into custody. And I want to publicly thank the FBI for their professionalism, quality of their investigation, and the work they do for our community. And we'd be remiss not to thank them for the work they do and how they've conducted this investigation. Allegations of this nature provide a variety of feelings and emotions from the public, as they should. When these allegations involve a person who's placed in a position of trust, they evoke even stronger feelings and emotion. And the reality is, to whom much trust and responsibility is given, the expectations are higher. And we would not have that any other way. But it should not be lost that some of the most unsettled by these allegations are the officers that work within this building. We understand that trust is earned and not given, and we will continue to do the great work we do every day to continue to earn your trust. Incidents of this nature will also raise questions about our background process naturally, and I want to address that for you because that's questions you will have. And how we hire officers is very important. Every officer we hire goes through a thorough and extensive background check. As part of this background check, there is a psychological evaluation and a polygraph examination. And during that polygraph examination, allegations of these nature are specifically addressed and screened. We can put many safeguards in place, and we owe that to the public, and we owe that to our profession, our responsibility. The reality is that human element still remains. Human beings still make decisions, and we can only respond to those actions. And in this situation, our response is clear and definitive. We can't deny the fact that events like this tarnish the badge in the eyes of some. We will continue to work hard every day to maintain this great community's trust and rebuild any trust we may have lost for some. We will not let the allegations against an individual overshadow the outstanding people we employ and the great work they do every day. And we'll continue to move forward, again, to maintain our great relationship with the community and trust and work through these issues as they come up. Thank you for your time.
Okay, I still don't have my internet working, so I'll just kind of wade through what we have. The aggravated assaults, both of those are strangulation cases. The assault was a domestic. The burglary, we had a couple of garages that were entered. Counterfeiting, I don't have any reports on. The disorderly involves juveniles. The forgery, one of those, we had an arrest that was made, and this was somebody that had, what we later learned is they stole a check from a mailbox and then altered that check, took that now altered check to a bank and tried to get it cashed. The bank employees recognized the check had been altered. They ended up contacting police, and they tried to delay the people for a little bit, but they ended up leaving. But the suspect had provided an ID along with that altered check, and so we had a name. We had some officers that found that car while it was still driving. They stopped it. Once they got everything pieced together, the suspect was arrested for a few traffic violations, but then the main one was possession of a forged instrument. Yeah, his last name is Condit, C-O-N-D-I-T. First is Christopher, C-H-R-I-S-T-O-P-H-E-R. Middle is William, W-I-L-L-I-A-M. And he's 33 from Sioux Falls. And the other frauds, another one was a check that was forged, and then we had the false impersonation. No arrests on either, well, arrests on the false impersonation, but no arrests on the other forged check. Larcenies, quite a few shopliftings, a few unlocked cars. We did have a shotgun that was taken from one unlocked vehicle. They thought it was locked at the time, but obviously figured it wasn't. The narcotics, nothing big with that. The robbery, that was something happened yesterday morning. We had a woman that was in the passenger seat of a friend's car, and the friend was inside a store at the time. She said there was another woman, our suspect came up, opened up the passenger door, started yelling at her to get out of the car, and began hitting her in the head with a handgun. The victim didn't have a number of times she was struck, but several times, and ended up later on seeking some medical treatment. She was able to climb over from the passenger seat to the driver's seat, and then started driving the car away, and that the suspect ended up running away on foot. So she claimed not to know who this suspect was, so we've got some information to follow up on, but no arrests at this point in time. Yeah, that was, I don't have the 100 block. It was like on South Louise Avenue near 34th Street. The sex offenses, those are all reports. The simple assaults were all domestics, and nothing suspicious with the unattended death. That's all I have.